Hi, Adias here. In today's video, we're going to learn how to create a basic performance inside the Roland System-8. So inside the System-8, we can go ahead and take two different patches and layer them together. So we can take an upper and a lower and put them together and come up with some really great synth sounds. So let's learn how to create our own from scratch. First off, press the Performance button in the Mode section. Now press and hold Shift and hit the Performance button. It's going to ask us, do you want to initialize a performance? And we're going to say yes or enter. Now that that is completed, we have a blank workspace to go ahead and start creating our own performance. So let's do that now. So first off, let's learn what these two different sections, part on and off, and the panel select do. So part on and off makes it so I can hear both of the parts simultaneously or separately. So if I want to now, I can go ahead and hear there's two parts. If I want to just focus on one part, I'll go ahead and turn off one of the parts. So all I'm going to hear now is the lower. Okay, great. Now if I want to focus on the upper, I'll turn off the lower and turn on the upper. Very easy. Now if I wanted to go in and edit a part, that's where we have the panel select. So depending on which part that I select, which panel, upper or lower, that's what the panel of the System-8 will allow me to edit. For example, if I wanted to hear the upper and edit the upper, I would go to panel select, upper, and now I can easily edit only the upper part and not the lower. Okay, so let's do that once again. Let's create our own performance from scratch. So do this with me. Press and hold Shift and hit the Performance button, and you see it ask me if I want to create an initialized performance, and yes. So now let's go ahead and choose some of the basic sounds that we're going to put inside the performance. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the lower. Press and hold the lower button, and you see the System-8 lets me choose which of the engines that I want to use, be it the System-8, the Jupiter 8, or any of the others that are soon to come. So I'm going to go ahead and say System-8. And now let's go ahead and pick maybe a string, that A5 rich strings, and let's give it a listen. Oh, I'm kind of hearing other than the rich strings, so what do I need to do? I need to turn off that upper so I can focus on the lower. So turn it off. Very quick, so I can hear the lower, and plus my panel will allow me to edit. So now let's choose an upper sound for our performance. So I'm going to press and hold the upper button, and notice the System-8 lets me choose any of the engines that I want to use, and I'm going to stay in the System-8 engine, and I'm going to choose bank B3, which happens to be a keyboard phase EP. Sounds something like this. Oh, I can't hear it. Remember, I have to turn the part on or off upper. So I just turned on the lower and I turned the upper on. Great. Now let's hear them both together. So I have the upper on and the lower on, but the panel is set to only edit the upper. If I wanted to edit the lower, just press lower and I can edit the lower. So let's go ahead and give it a listen. Maybe that keyboard, the EP isn't loud enough. Once again, I'll go to the upper. And I might go ahead and go to my amp level and turn up my level in the EP. So I went to the upper panel select and I went to my level in the amp and I just turned it a little bit louder. So we should be able to hear it a lot better now. Very quick, very easy. As you can see, setting up your own performance inside the System-8, it doesn't have to be a scary thing. Main thing we have to remember is press and hold Shift, hit the Performance button, and the System-8 asks us if we want to create our own initialized performance. Plus, if we want to go ahead and choose sounds, just press either the lower or the upper button in the panel select section and press and hold it. And at that point, you can choose choose which of the engines inside the System-8 you would like to use to create your performance. Now, if you want to save your performance, all you have to do is press the right button, which is right here. Right button, and it's going to say, hey, it's a performance. So you press the enter button, and now we go ahead and we can start doing whatever we want to name it. And I can just use my dial wheel here and use my cursor to move over where I want it. And then I just press enter, and then I can actually choose where inside the performance banks do I want to put it. And notice there's all of these different banks, okay? A8 through H8. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind, if you do any editing of the upper or the lower parts, all of those parts are chosen from the patch section inside the System-8. So if you use that patch in any other section of the System-8, make sure and you save this patch separately, because any edits inside the performance to a particular patch will go ahead and carry over to the patch section of the System-8, which can kind of throw you off a little bit. So make sure you go ahead and save your patches separate and then your performance, and you're good to go. All right, you guys take care, and we'll talk to you later.